Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited to be on this call right now with the amazing Rebecca Bertoldi. This woman is a absolute maven of marketing. She's magnificent at what she does. You're going to love every single word that comes out of her mouth when I let her talk. But the fact is that she is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. She's a certified StoryBrand marketer, and she is here to help you fix your message, fix your website, fix your marketing so that you got leads pouring through into your business and you can make a bunch of money and be really, really happy in your life. If that sounds good, you're going to listen to Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. And that was an amazing intro.
You're welcome.
I'll probably get that transcript and give it to everybody else that I go on calls with. But
There you go.
thank you for thank you for having me. And yeah, it's been quite a marketing journey.
Yeah, yeah. And you've been at this for a little while. You've been swinging the bat for some time. When did you get started in this?
So honestly, I started in graphic design. I got my degree in 2002, and then I think in 2003 I switched to marketing.
And you
And
were like, what, 8 years old then? Right?
sure,
Seven?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it fascinated me, the human psychology part of marketing. That's what really drew me in.
Mm.
And that was back before we had digital, when we can see things instantly. So that was like we would place a magazine ad and we'd wait 6 months to see how it worked out.
Wow. Man,
I
those are the times.
I would
Yeah.
not have the patience anymore.
Neither would your client.
Right. So yeah,
Fabulous.
as soon as
And
digital came up, I was on it.
good for you. Amazing. And so walk me through a little bit what your fascination is with the marketing or with the brain science part of marketing.
Yeah, because you and I can geek out on this so much.
Yeah.
And for me, it was, like I said, seeing what I would put into an ad and how it would, inspire action later through somebody.
Okay.
That was always very fascinating. So then as I got more into this, I wanted to understand more about how the human brain works and why we make those decisions. And so I just started diving deeper and deeper. And over the years, I have come to craft marketing experiences that create human
Mm,
connection in digital spaces, which
love that.
yeah,
Okay, say that one more time for us. Say that one more time for us.
we create emotional connections in digital spaces.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Because it can be such a cold space, right? Or
Yeah.
at least really surface. And what we need, is marketers like you to
Mhm.
get deeper beneath the surface. Well, share with us a quick concept here as to how to help somebody with their digital marketing get to that deeper level. What are some of the things that they need to be aware of and look for?
You need to know your audience. Like
Mm.
that's the thing I see the most is people, if I have to hear one more time I can help everybody, I might just scream. But
Can you
there's
record that, please? Just that moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you would not talk to like a woman in her 20s the same way you would talk to a woman in her 30s or 40s. Very different stages of life. They're dealing
Hmm.
with very different things. So it's the same with your audiences. You don't want to be like, hey, I do marketing. I can help you. Does that make you feel like, oh, I need that? Like that's
Right.
really what we're going for. We want people to be like, oh, yes, are they here? Like, are they watching me? Do they know what I'm going through right now? So it's one of the ways that we can make them feel seen and heard.
Mm, love it. And so, diving into this for a moment, do you prefer demographics or psychographics?
Yes. Um,
Yes.
so
Full stop.
probably more of the psychographics, but I mean, in the demographic way, you're looking at everyone has like their own niches. I work with a lot of coaches, so when they're trying to bring people in, there's not a lot of 20-year-olds that are like, I'm ready to take control of my life and,
Sure.
become a leader. And so they know that they're targeting usually like 30, 35 to 50, 55, to get them
Yep.
started in there. So we're looking at stuff like that. We're looking at where they want to offer their services. Is it throughout the, North America? Do they want to go to Europe? And so some of that can come into play, but really I want to know, what's keeping people worried at night? What are they thinking about before they fall asleep that they're like, man, how do I fix this? You
Mm-hmm.
know, like people have they have different types of problems. We have external problems, which are like, you know what, I would love to grow my business. And
Right.
then we have an internal problem that's like, we need to pay for our team, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So and then you're solving that internal problem more than anything else.
Love it. And it's like and then the deeper like shame around
Mhm.
the fact that they're like, I might not make payroll,
Right.
right? So it's yeah, because I think a lot of the time, as you're very aware of, business owners, they market to the above the surface problem,
Mhm.
but that's not why the person decides to buy from you.
Exactly.
That might be
Exactly.
how they rationalize buying from you, but that ain't the reason they actually decide to buy. So I love that. So when you're talking about StoryBrand now, some of my audience might not be familiar with what StoryBrand is. So guide us through a little bit of that because Donald Miller is a genius, and I absolutely love the fact that you are a StoryBrand person because that sings to my soul. And yeah, to walk us through a little bit of what StoryBrand is and why it's so different than some of the other marketing concepts that are out there.
Absolutely. So first, this is the Story Brand book, and it was written by Donald Miller. I read the initial ones maybe 8, 9 years ago, and even back then, like I started implementing that in my pages, and I saw a drastic increase, but wasn't
Mm,
quite sure why at the time.
okay.
And, so as I dove deeper in, I was getting it a bit more like it's about clarity. Okay, we're being really clear. We're letting them know, we're qualifying those people so that they know that they're in the right spot. They know that it's made for someone like them.
Yeah.
We're helping them to see what's going to change in their life when they use your product or service. So all of that made perfect sense. And then as I went into the training to actually get certified, it was like 15 more layers of psychology. I was
Ooh.
super excited and overwhelmed. And it was like learning through a fire hose, but it was amazing. And
Yeah.
really, what it comes down to right now, how much have you guys noticed all the AI content out there?
Oh my God, so much. It's just I mean, I use AI to make images for me because I am not a graphic artist and it's just about speed. But other than that, it's like there's so much, even the AI video, Rebecca. It's like, why are we having like just side note, I had a meeting with a girl yesterday who wanted to pitch me her AI avatar software thing that she's building and everything else. And she wanted me to help her with her company and stuff like that. And I'm like, I actually can't get on board with this,
Yeah.
right? I actually like I see your quality, but I can't get on board with what you're talking about, which is basically replacing people so that, you don't have to be there. Like we were talking about the Zoom thing earlier. Talk us through with the Zoom thing. What was that about?
Yeah, I was told that people are showing up on Zoom meetings as AI avatars, like they're coming in acting like real people.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I've created one of those. I tried it out because I wanted to see if I could fill my classes with BeccaBot was her name.
Okay. Of
If
course.
Becca
Great.
Bach could fill the classes, and she was like, Rebecca's not here right now. It wasn't like it looked like me, but she was like, Rebecca's not here. I'm covering for her. She's building you the best class ever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I tried all that, and everyone didn't listen to what she had to say, and they were like, that's not you. And it was just a complete shutdown. That was the last time I
Yeah.
posted Becca Bot. And but if I
And
post
that would be a good use of Becca Bot. It's like
right,
I'm here to answer your questions because she's actually busy, but I'm a robot. Like I'm not pretending I'm a person. It's the pretending I'm a person that boggles my mind.
yes, that's the thing. But that's if they're not reading it and they're not going through it, then they don't know that. So all they saw was the video on mute, and yeah.
Hmm.
So lesson learned there. But if I put up my Lego Rebecca's, those were perfectly fine.
Oh, they like those. Yeah. I think
Um,
that so what does that tell us? You're deep into the psychology of this, right? From a marketing and persuasion perspective, what does that tell us that we're okay with the cartoon version of Rebecca as a clear AI tool, but the I'm trying to pretend to be Rebecca AI bothers us. What's going on there?
so one of the things was like, there's so much AI content, nobody knows what's real.
Yeah.
So I feel like I mean, they obviously know I'm not Legos. So they know that it's obviously AI and there's no question about it. Their brain doesn't even have to think about it.
Mm.
So like that is the key piece of StoryBrand is we create messaging that has such a low cognitive load that your primal self understands the message.
Okay, so tell us what cognitive load means.
So if you have you ever read a sentence over and over again, you're like, what? What does that
Yep.
say?
Yep, did that
Um,
this morning.
that's a high cognitive load. We don't want to make people work to understand what you're trying to say. We don't
Okay.
have that much time with them. We need just a few seconds to get a few more seconds. That's all we're trying to do is get our next few seconds. So we need to be clear. We need to let them know exactly what problem that we solve,
Mm-hmm.
how they take action,
Mm-hmm.
and what kind of result they're going to have. And we need to let them know that within seconds when they get to our site.
Got it. So when if I can put the threads together, what you're saying is that when you use AI tools to replace you, right? And you're trying to simulate yourself. This looks exactly like Rebecca, but it just moves the same way all the time instead of moving fluidly, or it stutters on that, or it says that word in a way that Rebecca doesn't say it.
Yeah,
You're adding cognitive load because there's a distrust factor going up, right? There's this that's not really her shield that starts to raise, and that's part of the cognitive load. They have to work their way through them. Oh, well, this isn't really her question in their mind. Is that what you're getting at?
exactly. Yeah. So if they have to really think about that, think about all the internal signals that are going off. I call it your spidey sense, your gut, whatever it is
Yeah.
that you want to call it in there. It's saying like something's off. That's just like if you were looking at I see this a lot. Like let's say there's a social media post that I'm sure AI did, and then you get them back to your website and it looks completely different.
Mm,
There's a moment of like, am I in the wrong place? Did I just
right.
go to somewhere spammy?
Yeah.
There's so many little signals like that that can make people walk away and they don't even know why.
I call it brand dissonance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And that would be one of those things where that might be too much of a cognitive load to even use that term. Rebecca, you might be like, Michael, dial down the dictionary.
yeah.
Um, but I love that because I think one of the chief problems that you solve is simplifying to get action.
Mhm.
Right? This is what I love about what you do so much is that you have this big weight of psychology behind you, Rebecca, all this science and information and data and everything else, but you have this uncanny ability to focus all of that mass into here's a simple message and a simple way of communicating,
Exactly.
right?
And it was instant. Like the results that I saw when I story branded my messaging, it was instant. I
Mm,
mean, as I was getting trained, I started just shifting little lines here and there in my videos. And
okay.
the goal was when I was getting trained, I wanted to let my audience know I was going. I was sending them emails after each thing, letting them know what I learned and how excited I am. And I was also recording these videos for social. And I made one switch, and it was so I would have my hook, and then I would say, "Hi, I'm Rebecca Bertoldi. I'm your friend in marketing," and blah, 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 blah. I changed "I'm your friend in marketing" to when coaches want to get leads from their websites, I'm the girl they call.
Nice. Yeah.
That one change before I left training got me two new leads
Why?
because it was clear. I mean, I could be anybody's friend in marketing, but there was nothing that was like immediately connecting them to the end result. So when I say I'm your friend in marketing, that can be like, oh, okay, she does marketing, but you're not thinking like, oh, she can get leads, she can do website. Like you're not thinking any of that. So I might be because I'm a marketer, but you're not thinking that. So when I say that I'm the girl they call when they want leads from their website, that's very specific. And they're like, I
Mm.
want leads from my website. So they can immediately relate.
And I'm a coach, like you were talking before about understanding their ideal client profile, right? And they're a coach. Like, I love that. I love that. Okay. And that sentence, as you would put it, massively reduces cognitive load.
It did, yes. And even now, like if I'm out networking, I was testing it there.
Mm,
Everywhere that I've tested those little shifts have seen a huge result. So it's those little hinges that are swinging big doors. And it's so important, especially right now. There's so much content out there that is just getting like thrown at us. And
yeah.
you need your words to stand out and say, I see you, I hear you, and I got you.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I live right by the beach. And so one of the references that I always use for people with their when it comes to social media content, I'm like, you making social media content is like peeing in the ocean, right? No one gonna notice until you bring the right people around you or you make your pee some crazy color to stand out from the crowd. The whole point is that no one's noticing. Like until you have to differentiate yourself or hold a big sign above your head that says I'm peeing in the ocean, right? Like something that's going to ensure that they jump out and notice you,
Yes.
right? So
You
very
can
important.
find words that connect with people at that primal level that will impact their survival. That's the biggest thing is how will this help me survive? Unless it's a luxury product, then it's who am I going to be?
Yeah, status.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we really
So
want them to feel that, you know?
okay, so what do you mean by survival though? Because someone's going to be like, I don't sell weapons. What are you talking about? So, like what do you mean by sparking their survival?
So with lead generation, this is how they're going to get money in. This is how they're going to fund their business, fund their lifestyle, put food on their table.
Hmm.
So if we can't solve their problem of getting leads, and then they're not going to be able to do those things. So
Right.
it's tying back to their survival. We don't necessarily have to be like, you're going to die if you don't hire me. That's not what we're going
Although
for. So we just want them to know that
that's a good pitch,
it's
Becca.
important to them, it's important to us, and we are there to help them to thrive and, you know, to put food on the table.
Right. And so those are the primal needs, right? You got to survive, you got to provide for your family, provide for your children,
Yeah.
right? So when you relate what you do to that, right? That this is the problems that it solves, not obviously in a direct way, but saying like you're going to have more wealth, you're going to have the time, the flexibility, the wealth to do these things because your marketing is better. That's what you're referencing.
Yeah, or not so much of the marketing there, but that we're going to connect. In my case, it's like we're going to connect with your audience and you're going to get those leads because you
Right.
see them. And if we can make that message crystal clear, it makes such a difference. And when Donald Miller was like, these are literally magic words, he's like, I know magic isn't real, but you'll see the difference immediately. And he wasn't wrong.
Mm,
It's
love it.
definitely one of those things that people are gravitating towards.
Awesome. And can you share with us? I mean, you've shared that one little bit about your changing the words in your videos and stuff like that in networking. What about for a client? What have you recently been able to do for a client that's made a big difference?
Ooh, so one of the things is there's people out there, and I'm sure there's many of you, that you don't even know how to talk about what you do.
Mm,
And if somebody asks you, you just start like rambling stuff out. And so one of the biggest things that creating your story brand sound bites does is it gives you that solid response that people are like, tell me more. So a couple great examples of that. I have one client who she works with franchise owners
okay.
to enable their franchisees to have a better business. And she had this whole thing where it was like so many words, and it was her landing page just wasn't getting all of the calls that we wanted. She would send people there, and but it didn't really bring them through a story. It didn't show them how they were going to hire her, and then this is how she's going to improve their bottom line, and she was using their words too,
Hmm.
and expand their network and all of that. So as soon as she was able to shift that, not only is she more confident in when she's telling people what she does, but it's all over the page. It's all in all of her messaging now, and it's one of those cases that it's a magnet. So the more connections she makes in that space and she's sending them to the site, she's getting more and more calls booked now.
Right.
It's only been like a week or so with her updates actually being done on the site.
Wow. Happens
So
fast.
yeah, I mean it happens very fast. I even a woman that runs the speakers collective that I'm part of, she had me do her sound bites, and forever she was like, I just don't even know what I'm saying to people, but they're not getting it. And I'm a
Mm,
member. I know the value she's bringing. I know how we're feeling. So we were able to really sit with that. And now she has something so powerful that she's excited to say every time. And now she's like, all right, we got to do all these other pages, you know? So one of those things that once you feel it and you're like, yes, this is what I do, you're happier and more excited to share it, which that in itself, the energy that comes with it is impactful.
Love that. Yeah. Because I mean, my big belief is that, or one of my things is that, selling somebody on something is the transference of belief, right? And part of that sale process, of course, is your conviction
Yes,
about what it is that you're talking about, what it is that you're pitching. So having those sound bites is really, really, really powerful. Love that.
absolutely. And one of the things that I am not great at is making my own business cards that I like. It's,
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't like the ones I ever make for myself. And if I have one that I've made, I will apologize while handing it to somebody or not
Oh,
want to give it to them at all, right?
right.
That's not what we want to do in our business. As soon as I got my new cards, I'm like, hey, I'm giving them to everybody. I'm like, I could have been one of those people that's like through the room,
Nice.
and it's just a whole different vibe.
Love it. And that's because you put the sound bite on the card?
It was just because I had someone else do it, honestly. I had an
Ah,
outside perspective come in and take a look at it and created exactly what I needed, which is, you and I do that all the time. It's so hard to work on your own business. You are so
yeah.
close to it. So and this is why it's always great to hire a professional like Michael or me, because we can see your business from an outsider's perspective. You often take so much of your knowledge for granted, and you think that everybody knows what you know, and they do not. So we are able
Mm,
to simplify it for your clients.
love that. Yeah. Yeah. We're standing in the center of the storm of our own business.
Exactly.
So how do you possibly see how big it is or what's really going on when you're standing in the middle of it? Right?
Exactly.
Everything's spinning. Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Rebecca, talk to us a little bit where we can find you, where we can tap into this brilliant brain of yours.
So you can come to 222marketing.com and book a
Okay.
consultation there. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, a LinkedIn, and more.
Okay.
And
All the places.
and then in the show notes, I'm going to include a link to it's an assessment. It's a little assessment you can give yourself that's just going to see what kind of human connection you're making in your marketing and
Okay.
seeing if you're meeting people where they are. And it just gives you a great idea of, where you can improve and where you can quickly start to increase your conversions.
Meet people where they are. Can you just give us 30 seconds what that means?
Of course. So meeting people where they are in my world means that not everybody's ready to buy. So
Yeah.
there's many steps before they actually reach out to somebody to purchase. There's many things that are going on in the buyer's journey, and when we can meet them where they are there and provide those resources, let's say somebody wanted to get their house painted, then they would have you can give them a guide on how to plan for painting your house, and you're meeting them before they're ready for the actual professional to come in, but now they already trust you because you've already helped them.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so things like that.
Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And we're gonna get you into the Time to Lead Academy to do a whiteboard session soon too, Rebecca. So that'll
That's
be fun.
going to be so much fun. Can't
Yeah. 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 You can bludgeon my students over what's going on. There's no story here. No, I'm kidding.
wait.
Um,
They're going to
Rebecca, this has been fabulous. You're so brilliant at what you do. Thank you very much for sharing your genius and being, stepping into this role. A lot of people, they've got these amazing skills. They've got these things. They're trepidatious about stepping into that power and stepping into themselves. So thank you to you for doing that, because the world's a better place because you did.
awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for talking today.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks so much. And ciao for now, everybody. Have a fantastic week. See
Bye,
you later.
guys.